Shalom to the royal family of Israel. I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to the Most High Yahweh, and the only begotten Son, Yahweh, Ba'Shem, and Mashiach, Yahushua. I want to give a salutation to all the mighty men, mighty women, and mighty children of Israel. And today's lesson is, what is Project 2025?
Yes, folks. So that's the hot button topic right now. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. Look, folks, hitting the like button, it doesn't cost you any money, but it helps with the algorithm to push this information out, to push out the truth. What is Project 2025? And it's all over the place, folks. Everybody's talking about it. Let's see what Tajiri said.
Time for us to play chess, not checkers. It's about making decisions that will affect us as human beings, our careers, our next generations to come. Did you know that it is now a crime to be homeless? Pay attention. It's not a secret. Look it up. They are attacking our most vulnerable citizens. The Project 2025 plan is not a game. Look it up.
And boy, did everybody look it up. It's all over the place, ladies and gentlemen. And this thing is being linked to Donald Trump. However, it is the brainchild of that demonic organization, the Heritage Foundation, which they've been around since the Reagan era. And guess what they did back then? Back then, they suggested cut all social programs that benefited Black people, and he did it. So if whatever you're hearing, y'all not really hearing it. But let's see what this Congresswoman has to say about it.
We must sound the alarm. Project 2025 is a far-right manifesto. It is a 1,000-page bucket list of extremist policies that would uproot every government agency and disrupt the lives of every person who calls this country home. I won't detail every aspect, but I'll share some highlights. The Department of Education would be eliminated, cutting students off from civil rights protections and ending essential Title I funding for K through 12 schools. The Department of Justice would go on a murdering spree. It would rush to use the death penalty and expand its use to even more people while circumventing due process protections. Project 25 not only calls for national book bans in schools, but also creates a list of banned words for the federal government that would be deleted from, quote, every federal rule, agency regulation, contract, grant, and piece of legislation that exists. End quote. Here are just a few of the words on the list: diversity, gender, reproductive health, and of course, conservatives want to ban the word abortion. On that note, abortion care would be inaccessible and illegal no matter where you live. Take it from them. On page 6 of its playbook, Project 2025 states, quote, the Dobbs decision is just the beginning, end quote. People, even in my district, the Massachusetts 7th, a leader in repro justice, would be criminalized for pursuing essential health care. Now, we could have an entire hearing on how these policies would quite literally ruin and end lives. And I didn't even touch upon proposals for housing, climate change, worker protections, and more. If enacted, Project 2025 would destroy the federal government as we know it.
So now you guys have an understanding of Project 2025. But we're going to see what the Bible says, ladies and gentlemen, because rumors and all the rest of this stuff, it matters not. The way we see it, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, this is for you, ladies and gentlemen. This is not for you homosexuals. This ain't for you single moms. This is not for anyone who you guys think there's an attack on. No, this is an attack on the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, also known as the Israelites, ladies and gentlemen. And there ain't nothing new about this. As a matter of fact, crafty councils have been against the Israelites since the biblical days. And we can get that in the book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 1. Read.
The book of Psalm, chapter 83, verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
See, so right here, our King David is praying to the Lord about who? The enemies of the Lord.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones.
The hidden ones are the Israelites.
They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
So look at us right now today. Black people think that they're African Americans. Issachar, you guys think you're Mexicans. You are not Mexicans, Issachar. You're from the powerful tribe of Issachar. So the 12 tribes, none of them know who they are. You think you're Puerto Ricans, you think you're Nigerians, you think you're everything in the world. Why? Because this crafty council did a great job.
For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
So here's God's hit list of everyone that's confederate against us. Go.
The tabernacles of Edom,
Caucasians,
and the Ishmaelites,
Arabs,
of Moab,
Chinese,
and the Hagarenes,
Africans,
Gebal,
Africans,
and Ammon,
Japanese,
and Amalek,
the fake Jewish Amalek Khazarian bastards that dwell in Ashdod,
the Philistines,
Palestinians,
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
the Africans.
Ashur also is joined with them.
And this is not just the Assyrians or Assyria, this is also Turkey as well. So these are the individuals in ancient biblical times that have done what? Made sure that we are no longer Israelites. We ain't nothing but some dirty, poor ass niggas.
They have hope in the children of Lot, Selah.
So here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. When we start talking about this Project 2025 and it's 900, but you know why it's 900 pages? Because that keeps you blacks from reading, because you niggas don't like to read. Let's just be clear about that. You can run circles around and niggas just put it in a book. They ain't open it up and they're not reading. But so what you're hearing is you're also hearing a lot of rumors being said. See, like you niggas like to say, I ain't reading all that. See, that's your mentality. You be like, nigga, it's only 2 pages long. No, I ain't reading all that. That's how you are. And that's going to be to your complete and total destruction, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the funny thing about Project 2025. The stuff, yeah, some of it sounds good because the Israelites been talking that stuff for the longest. The Bible says that homosexuality is an abomination. Not you, Esau. The Bible says that the man is the head of the household and that the woman submits to him. Not you, Esau. What we're looking at right now, ladies and gentlemen, anything comes from Esau, it's really coming from the devil because they're the authors of the doctrines of devils. We can get that in the book of Isaiah, chapter 10, verse 1. Read.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 10 and verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed.
And some of those unrighteous decrees is the Supreme Court ruling that the president has immunity from any criminal prosecution. He could rape somebody right there and nothing can happen to him. The Civil Rights Act, y'all can say bye-bye to that one. Then they're talking about cutting education. Y'all can say bye-bye to that one. And the funny thing about Donald Trump, as a side note, because you guys are so invested in voting for him, they have a case with him with 12-year-old girls and boys. And there's been a lot of settlement money paid out by this guy right here who you guys want as your president. But you know what? It ain't no surprise. You know why? That's your king, Donald Trump right here, the Mr. Pedophile. And then this pedophile right here, see him? That right there is your Christ. His name is Caesar Borgia. So y'all love worshiping pedophiles. It's crazy. Getting back to the doctrines of devils, right here it says, death to them that decree unrighteous decree. And we're going to get into that death. But as for you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, also known as the 12 tribes of Israel, the Lord wants you to separate yourself. And we can get that in the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 4. Read.
The book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sin, and that ye receive not of her plagues.
Look at the threat right here. It said, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Do you know what some of the plagues are? It's going to be death and destruction coming to Babylon the Great. So you guys better come out of this. And don't get, for you blacks, don't get all wrapped up into what Esau is doing. To hell with your 920-page book, because that's what it is. To hell with it. We as Israelites cannot be befall by the doctrines of men. We can get that in the book of Colossians, chapter 2, verse 22. Read.
The book of Colossians, chapter 2 and verse 22, which are to perish with the using after the commandments of doctrines of men.
Hey, do you see what Paul said here? You see the threat, which all are to perish with the using. So you stay away from these doctrines. So what? Hey, we've been under the scrutiny of Esau since we got off them boats, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's get a mic drop. Let me get the book of 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 1, read.
The book of 1 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 1. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils.
And you know, one of the doctrines of devil that are now being introduced is the Project 2025. That's got all you guys panties in the bunch. But you know what's a problem? No one is turning towards the Lord. You're all trying to figure, you guys better move. Let me make it real clear. This is Babylon the Great. There's nowhere that you can move. That it's worse in Europe. What you think? You're going to go to Europe? It's going to be worse for you in Europe, black people. There's nowhere that you're going to hide. Issachar might be able to hide out, but you can't. It ain't going to be good for you nowhere. You know how it's going to be good for you? Have faith in Yahweh Bahashem Hamashiach Yahweh. Let me be clear and plain about that. Yes, keep the law, statutes, and commandments, but you better have faith in Yahweh Bahashem Hamashiach Yahweh and keep the commandment. You cannot do one without the other. Let me get the book of 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 13. Read.
The book of 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 13. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived.
I'm going to tell you something, and this is because this ain't just talking about Esau, who are the evil men that are seducers. This is also talking about you evil, wicked Israelite. You see, even if you know or you believe that a lot of this stuff is this magic is what it is, right? You will take on that. You listen. Only evil people listen to lies. Listen to this. Look, it said, but evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse. What? In your health, definitely in your spirit. And it says, look, deceiving and being deceived. Come out of those Christian churches, ladies and gentlemen. Turn towards the Most High God. You are an Israelite. You better go get your fringes. You better stop playing around. You better start keeping the Sabbath holy. When we start talking about Babylon the Great, let me tell you something. You Edomites, also known as white people, Caucasian, y'all getting real cocky. So the Lord, he's going to humiliate you. I need you to understand that. He's going to break you guys down to all your components. And all this laughing and joshing that you're doing, it's going to come back and bite you in the ass. And we can get that in the book of Isaiah chapter 47, verse 1. Read.
The book of Isaiah chapter 47, verse 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate.
You see what the Lord is saying to America? It's saying, because America likes to post itself up like it's a virgin. Do you know what the Bible calls America? The great whore. And right here, the Lord is telling you, oh, virgin daughter of Babylon, sit on the ground. You know what it means to sit on the ground? It means to you're good down into a lower state. You're no longer going to be this majestic empire like the Persians and the Romans. No. You get down there on the ground where you're supposed to be in a based state, and you're no longer going to be tender and delicate because you think don't most whores think that? I'm a lady. No, you're a whore. Read.
Take the millstones and grind meal. Uncover thy lock. Make bare the leg. Uncover the thigh. Pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man.
So the Lord is saying that he's going to reveal all of your dirtiness. You know, part of 2025 is they're going to take out critical race theory because they don't want people to learn about slavery. Are you out of your mind? Let me tell you something. The Lord, there's no stopping the Lord. The Lord is revealing everything, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to notice the man who you guys call Jesus, his name is Yahweh. He says, I will take vengeance. Why is the Lord taking vengeance? He ain't taking vengeance on behalf of you guys, Esau. He's taking vengeance on behalf of the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans for what you did against us. He said, and I will not meet thee as a man. That means he's coming in his real form.
As for our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughters of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms.
Pay attention. This also lets you know this is Esau. Which country's running everybody? It's America. Everybody does what it makes. Hey, do you know if it wasn't for America, Russia would already sent a nuke to Ukraine? If it wasn't for America, Israel already would have sent a nuke over to Palestine. No, you ain't doing that. You know why? Because America ain't gonna have your back. And the rest of the world will tear you to pieces. America calls the shots for all of the countries. And right here it says, thou shalt no more be called the lady of the kingdoms.
I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke.
Who you think the Lord is talking about right here? The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. He said he was mad at us. We're his people. My people, Israel. My people, Israel. He was mad at us. He says, I polluted my inheritance. He's talking about us. And he gave us over to you in what? Slavery and captivity. Why? Because we didn't obey the Most High God's law, statutes, and commandments.
And thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it.
And I want you to pay attention to that. The Lord is saying, and thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever. That's what you say about yourself. You say that statue of liberty, that right there is your image. And you say that you will be a lady. The Bible says that you're the great whore. You're no lady. And this chapter is telling you to get your butt on that ground, meaning get at the lower state, you will be destroyed. And watch this. Neither didst remember the latter end of it.
Therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children.
And that right there is what Babylon the Great says about themselves. They say that, watch this, there's none beside me. Ain't that what Esau say? Aren't y'all the great eagle that thinks that you're above the creator? You say you're God. You say that there's none beside you. And the Lord is letting you know, he's calling you out for this. You even say, look, he says that you say, I shall not sit as a widow. Watch this. Neither shall I know the loss of children. So Babylon's not worried about none of its inhabitants dying, getting killed. You ain't concerned about that. It's going to be so much blood when Yahweh should get here. It's going to be amazingly scary.
But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day.
In a twinkling of an eye, in a moment, in one day. Watch what's coming to you, Babylon.
The loss of children.
So remember when you thought that you weren't going to lose any of your people, read?
The loss of children and widowhood.
And widowhood.
They shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thy enchantments.
And why does the scripture talk about sorcery and enchantment? How does Babylon the Great use sorcery and enchantments? Through its media, right? Through its science. Like when they launched those 2 missiles or those 2 bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, everybody thought God was dealing with it. And everything you do is, oh, here's an example. Project 2025. This is sorcery and enchantment because you think that this is supposed to fix the country. No, fam, you're going to have something else coming to you. Read.
For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness.
And the Lord only calls Esau the border of wickedness. He don't even call nobody else that. He calls you that. Read.
Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me.
So look at what the Lord is saying. You guys said nobody can see you. Look, that's why the Lord said in a couple of scriptures ago that he's going to be revealing your shame. Look, thy wisdom and thy knowledge. And you guys do have a lot of wisdom and knowledge. You know why? Because Satan gives it to you. That's how come you guys understand nuclear fission. That's how come you understand even this thing called the interweb. Because Satan, look, it hath perverted thee, and thou hast said in thy heart, I am, and none beside me. You think that you're higher than the Most High God.
Therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off. and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know.
So look at what the Lord is talking that talking. He's telling you, you ain't going to even see it coming. The Lord is letting you know your end is going to come and you ain't even going to see it. It's coming from the left, Everything that's coming going to be coming from the left.
Behold, they shall be as stubble.
Okay, so now we're looking at your destruction.
The fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a coal to warm at, nor a fire to sit before it.
The Lord is telling you, you're about to become a barbecue pit. This place is going to turn into the lake of fire. Let's really get into the destruction of Babylon the Great. Let me get the book of Isaiah chapter 13, verse 4. Read.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 13 and verse 4. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle.
This is talking about the militaries that are going to be coming up against Babylon the Great. Straight up and straight down.
They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation, to destroy the whole land. Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand.
So think of every country that's in the world. They're coming after you. NATO's coming after you. Great Britain, Russia, China, they're all coming after you, Babylon the Great. But I want you to notice where it says, even the Lord. So you're going to have chariots, millions of chariots coming for your butt, Babylon the Great.
It shall come to pass as a destruction from the Almighty.
So do you see that, ladies and gentlemen? Because everything that's going to happen is coming from the Most High God.
Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt, and they shall be afraid. Pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flame.
You're going to have the inhabitants of the earth, as well as the military that's supposed to be defending Babylon the Great. And look, your hands are going to be faint. You're going to be trembling, especially when you see that big old fathership. And you know what's inside of it? Yahweh, who y'all thought was Jesus.
Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel, both of wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it.
Notice, he shall destroy the sinners. So this is talking about Yahweh. And so that the day of the Lord, oh, I can't wait for the day of the Lord. Okay, well, that day of the Lord is going to be death, destruction, blood, crushing bones and heads and skulls, fire. But when you start looking at Project 2025, that right there is going to help to usher in Jacob's trouble, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all haven't seen it. So they're talking about getting rid of all these illegal aliens. Man, so 11 million illegal aliens in your country that came in over the last 5 years. You got plans to do what? To round them all up and put them into those camps? Because every state has a camp in. Every state. So-called Blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans, I got news for you. Those are for you. Yes. Let's not be fooled, ladies and gentlemen. They're for you. But let's see what the Lord is going to do to Esau for what he's done to the Lord's children.
And I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity.
Hold on. I thought for God so loved the world. Didn't y'all say that? I thought for God so loved the world. But he said, but I will punish the world. Precept, go.
And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible.
And that's you Edomites, especially on Twitter. You guys are thumping your chest and having such a great time saying nigger to black people, and look at we're doing this. No, the Lord, it's not for he loved you. He don't love you. He said, and I will punish the world for their evil. That's you. When it says for God so loved the world, that's talking about the so-called Blacks, Hispanic, and Native American. But right here where it says, and I will punish the world, that's for you. Oh, it hurts. Still arrogant, still haughty.
Every one that is found shall be thrust through, and every one that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword.
Hey, remember we read in the script for you Blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans? Come out of her, my people. Don't be partakers in her sin so you don't get none of her plagues. Stop trying to save these individuals. They don't want to save you. Right here it says, everyone that is found shall be thrust through. They all getting killed. Well, look, and everyone that is joined on to them, that's talking about you. I love the white man so much. You're going to die with them. If you're married to one, divorce him. If you're a black man with an Edomite woman, divorce her today. If you're a black woman with an Edomite husband, divorce him. Divorce him right now and take half his shit. I'm gonna tell you something. Project 2025, there will be no more no-fault divorces. If you divorce your Edomite husband now, you ain't getting nothing. So divorce him right now. It's not a real marriage anyways. The Lord is against bestiality. Bars.
Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes.
Oh, our favorite part. I know y'all don't like this one. This is God talking. He says that your little ones are gonna be dashed to pieces, read.
Their houses shall be spoiled.
We're gonna steal from you.
And their wives ravished.
Now, that's not gonna be us doing that. That's gonna be the other nation. That's gonna be the other nations ravishing your wives.
Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it.
And this right here, when you see words like this, this is a representation of the other heathen nations, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be simple. Oh, it says Medes. It ain't talking about the Medes. Just like when it says Chaldeans, that's talking about you, Esau. When it says Babylon the Great, that's not talking about modern day Iraq. That's talking about here in America.
Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. And Babylon, the glory of kingdom, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah.
Look at what it's compared to when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. But look at what it said. The Lord ain't going to care about your kids, because you didn't care about our children. So let's say you got a pregnant Edomite and that baby's going to come out of her one way or another. And I'm not going to be graphic, but it's coming out of you one way or another, and it's going up against the rocks.
It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tents there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there.
Why? Because this place is going to be desolate. It's going to be on fire. The fire's going to go out, and it's going to be desolate. No human beings will be here on this part of the world. The rest of the world will be, but not here. We will not, no one will be here. But I'll tell you what will be here.
But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there.
So you see, these are the only things that are going to be left here in Babylon the Great. But you people will be dead.
And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces. And her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged.
And that's talking about you, Babylon the Great. You won't be so great no more. All your inhabitants, your sons, your children, Esau, done. The remnant of them are going to be in slavery for 1,000 years. The rest of you guys are going to be in the lake of fire. Done, finished. You'll be in another dimension. You'll be tortured to death forever until the Lord is finished with you, and then you'll be eradicated. Your spirits will be eradicated out of existence. We won't even know you were anywhere around. Now, let's get the judgment against Babylon the Great, as though we didn't get it, but let's really get it.
Woe to the bloody city! It is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not. The noise of a whip and the noise of the rattling of the wheels and the prancing horses and of the jumping chariot.
So look at what the Lord called you, Babylon the Great, the bloody city. And ain't this a bloody city? You know why the Lord's got to burn this thing up? Because of all of the Israelite blood that's all over the ground. You know the fruits and vegetables that you guys eat? Well, guess what the fertilizer is? Black people. That's how you did us. It's the Native American, Seminole Native American people, also known as the tribe of Reuben and Gad. That's what you did to our people. And now we're eating potatoes and tomatoes and lettuce. Thanks to you, Esau, for killing our forefathers. So you know what the Lord's going to do to you? He's going to recompense you. Read.
The horsemen lifted up both the bright sword and the glittering spear.
Those are missiles.
And there is a multitude of slain and a great number of carcasses.
So you see there's going to be mass death here in Babylon the Great.
and there is none in of their corpses. They stumble upon their corpses.
So there's going to be so many dead bodies. People going to be falling all over. It's going to look like the freaking Walking Dead that ain't walking.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 21, verse 10. For I have set my face against this city for evil and not for good, saith the Lord. It shall be given into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he shall burn it with fire.
I want you to see this, ladies and gentlemen. The Lord is promising that he is going to do what? Set his face against the city. Why? Because of your evilness. And what's some of your evilness? Slavery, destruction, the wars, conquering. And then before y'all used to do stuff and then hide it. Now you just blatantly do it right in front of your face, and you're like, well, what you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it?
The book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 1. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying, Unto me, come hither. I will shew unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
I want you to notice right here. This right here is look, it said, and there came one of the 7 angels. Now these angels are going to have vials of destruction against you, Esau. But watch this. It says, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore. Didn't I tell you that Babylon the Great was known as the great whore? You think that you a lady. You think that you a lady. The Bible says that you're the great whore. That's what you are. And when it says sitteth upon many waters, that's your influence in every country. That's why all you people talking about get your passport. Babylon the Great is in Uganda. It's pronounced Uganda. No, it's pronounced Uganda. And Babylon controls Uganda. Babylon can drop a missile on Uganda whenever the hell they want to. And there's nothing that you can do about it. Why you think Africa right now is so shitty? Africa got all the resources in the world, but y'all let Babylon the Great and all of Babylon the Great's friends. And let's talk about Babylon the Great's friends. Watch this. With whom the kings of the earth, that's all of Babylon the Great's friends, the 10 toes, have committed fornication. How did they commit fornication? They didn't have sex with Babylon. No, what they did is they took her doctrine. They listened to her Project 2025. They listened to her homosexuality. They listened to her gay rights. They listened to her anti-black policies. They listened to her decrees, unrighteous decrees. And they did right what she did. That's how you committed fornication with Babylon the Great. And that's why you're also going to be destroyed. It ain't just going to be here, England. It ain't just going to be here, New Zealand. It ain't just going to be here, Canada. It's going to be all of you guys. Y'all going to be surrounded by hundreds of millions of chariots aimed at your ass. Today, we just talked about Project 2025. And what is Project 25? I'll tell you what Project 2025. It doesn't matter what Project 2025 is. The Lord's going to destroy you, Babylon the Great. And with that, shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.